If you've ever dreamed of becoming a pilot, you probably imagine your first time at the controls. But what if that first plane was, well, ancient? Today, we're looking at a modern aircraft that is completely flipping the script on how we learn to fly.
All right, so let's start with the old way to fly. For so many student pilots, this is a story they know all too well. The dream of soaring through the clouds meets the harsh reality of the typical training aircraft.
And this quote from a pilot just says it all, doesn't it? You're supposed to be learning about lift and navigation, but instead you're just wrestling this sluggish, totally unresponsive machine off the ground. That's not really learning to fly, it's just fighting the plane.
And then you look down at your instruments. You're trying to build confidence, but you're staring at these cloudy, yellowed gauges that look like they belong in a museum. You know, it's not just about appearances. When you can't trust your instruments, it's really hard to trust yourself as a pilot.
And this right here is the bottom line, especially for the flight schools. These old planes are a constant financial black hole. Every flight feels like a gamble against a costly repair, which just drives up the cost of training for everyone and gives school owners a massive headache.
So all of this leads to a pretty simple question, right? In an age where we have incredible technology in our pockets, is this really the best we can offer the next generation of pilots?
Well, thankfully, the answer is a big, resounding no. It's time to meet the modern solution, an aircraft designed from the ground up to solve all these problems. Say hello to the Skyleader 400.
Now, this isn't just a slightly newer plane. It's a fundamental rethink of what a training aircraft should be. It's designed for what the industry calls ab initio training, which is just a fancy way of saying from the very beginning. It's all about safety, efficiency, and creating the perfect learning environment.
So, let's pop the hood and see what makes this thing tick. We're talking a super reliable 100 horsepower Rotax engine. The whole airframe is all metal, which is huge for durability. It's got a great fuel capacity for longer flights, and its lightweight means it performs beautifully. But honestly, the real magic is in the design philosophy. That all-metal build means repairs are way easier and cheaper. The landing gear is beefed up because, let's be honest, the student landings can be a little firm. And here's the kicker. It comes standard with a ballistic parachute. That's not an optional extra. It's a core safety feature designed to save lives.
Okay, so it looks great on paper, but what does all of this actually mean for the most important person in this equation? Let's jump into the cockpit and see this from the student's point of view.
And the difference is, well, it's night and day. Forget those cramped, rattling cockpits you see in old trainers. The Skyleader 400 has exceptionally comfortable leather seats and a clean, modern layout. And that's not just a luxury. When you're comfortable and not fighting your own environment, you can actually focus on learning to fly.
The way it handles is also completely intentional. It's got this reassuring weight to it, so it feels more like a larger airplane. That makes it way easier for a student to eventually transition to something like a Cessna 172. The controls are stable and well-balanced, not all twitchy, and it actually makes you use the rudder properly, building good habits from your very first flight.
And you don't have to take my word for it. This pilot's feedback says it all. The plane feels natural. It feels stable, even when the air gets a little rough. For a student pilot trying to build confidence, that feeling of control is absolutely everything.
So students love it. But let's switch seats. What about the flight school operators? The people who actually have to buy and maintain these things. Does it make good business sense?
How's this for an answer? A single Skyleader 400 at a flight school in the Czech Republic has already flown over 6,000 hours. That's incredible. This isn't some delicate hangar queen. It's a proven, tough-as-nails workhorse built for the daily grind of flight training.
And then there are the operating costs. It burns just 15 liters of fuel per hour. I mean, compared to the thirsty old engines of legacy trainers, this thing just sips fuel. That's a massive saving that can be passed on to students, making training more affordable for everyone.
And we all know that in a training environment, things get bumped and scraped. With this simple modular design, it's not a huge drama. Instead of a complex, expensive repair, you can literally just unbolt a damaged panel and put a new one on. That means way less time in the hangar and more time in the air where the plane is actually earning money.
So it's a fantastic aircraft for students and for schools. We've established that. But a very recent development has turned this plane from a great choice into an absolute, undeniable game changer, especially for anyone who wants a career in aviation. Not too long ago, the UK Civil Aviation Authority, the CAA, made a landmark decision. This wasn't some minor tweak to the rules. It was a fundamental shift that completely changed the pathway for aspiring professional pilots.
And this right here is the golden ticket. What this technical jargon means is that hours flown in a modern microlight, which is exactly what the Skyleader 400 is, now count directly towards a commercial pilot's license. Before, these hours were in a totally different category. This decision just tore down a massive barrier.
So now, training in the Skyleader 400 is an incredibly smart career move. It's not just a better, more modern learning experience, it is a more direct and, frankly, a much more cost-effective path to getting that CPL, the professional license you need to actually get paid to fly.
So when you put it all together, a modern, safe, and efficient aircraft that's not only better to fly, but also gives you a faster and cheaper path to a professional career, the choice becomes incredibly clear. It really makes you wonder why you'd want to start your journey into the sky and anything else.